guys. Hey, welcome to episode 3 of the PvP podcast. My name is King Stefan. I'll be your host. Today, we are actually going to talk with the FanFest champions from both NA and EU. Going to have a discussion about our experiences, what we thought of live tournaments in general, and yeah, it should be a good time. So let's just go right down the roster here. We'll start with +1 at the top and sort of just go from top to bottom on Discord. So yeah, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Plus1. I'm a music producer. Check out some of my Final Fantasy inspired work at plustheone.com. Started to focus on PvP after being invited to Rum Raised Fan Club in Season 1. Formed a team with Next Cross and Last Boss, and ended up being the main competitor to Stefan and Atreus, who I joined for the Las Vegas Fan Festival, where we won the Feast tournament. I was playing Machinist there, but I also main Black Mage and Astrologian.
Atreus, that would be you.
Guys, I'm Atreus Auditor, also another competitor at the Las Vegas FanFest tournament. Career Paladin. I've known +1 and Safan as well as Slib for varying periods of time. Slib longer than the others, but like Plus kind of touched upon, but we were both we were friends and definitely rivals in some cases as well, especially since we were on different teams at the time. We came together out of mutual respect for one another at Las Vegas FanFest and managed to take home the win.
Well, I'm Meg. I was in Paladin, the team that won the EU FanFest tournament. And I'm an admin in Team Tryhard Discord server along with everyone else on the team, playing for a couple of years now.
Hello, I'm Daisy Darla from Odin. I play Scholar as main. I've been playing it on the EU FanFest as well. And I've played Scholar since like the Wolves Den Arena days. So like it's my main.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm King Stefan. I was the healer for the NA Las Vegas Fan Fest team. And you guys know who I am, so we can just sort of skip over me and go to Slib.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah, tell us who you are. I don't know you.
I would like to hear it in your voice, please.
All right, so this is Slip Falu. I originally started on, I forgot which server. I server hopped a lot. I think Gilgamesh I started on, and then I swapped to Mateus and Goblin, and ended up coming back to Balmung to join these guys in PvP. I got a hold of Atreus, and he's like, "Sure, why not? Give you a chance, you know." We need a Dragoon, so I was the Dragoon for the group, and yeah, I mean, that's about it. I main White Mage, but I pick at other jobs. I try Summoner and Dragoon. Those are my two other good jobs that I'm good at. But I always preferred the healer.
Took him a long time to get him off a backwater server and up to Balmung.
Hello, this is Chicken Soup from Ragnarok. I play Monk, and I played Monk in the FanFest. I've been PvPing since the start of Sealrock, and I play every role, but I prefer to play Monk, as I did in FanFest. Okay, that's it from me.
Sweet, thanks guys. All right, so that's everybody here. So I guess the first thing I want to talk about is how did you guys come up with your team name? I want to hear this from the EU guys first. Why boy band?
So we had I think it's from the Sealrock days.
Yeah.
We were doing pre-mates for Sealrock, like usually 8 men, and when you're doing pre-mates, people start to like call you out because if it's the 24 men one, it's kind of one-sided, and people started calling us boy bands. It's just like the boy band is queuing, and it's it's boy band, and it just stuck to us, and we just started using it.
Nice. So Trace, you came up with our team name. How about you talk about that a little bit?
It was a big discussion, especially since the other very, very close runner-up was #FreeKing Stefan. That's the irony of the name. We tried to get as many PvP veterans as we could, and it just seems like a trademark phrase for people. Those people we all just love from Garo. Hello, first time. Oh wait, they can't say that now. So just the irony, a little bit of light, fun humor that wouldn't be too controversial if we were asked on stage. And as it turned out, it worked a lot better because the GMs or community reps are getting a little more into it and coming up with their terrible jokes about our team name, and it's just what we all decided on.
I like how our name evolved each match too.
It was a
Hello
changeable,
second time,
evolvable
hello
name.
third time.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, I want EU to go first in this one. How'd you guys decide on your party composition? Because us NA people were looking at it and we were like, what are they thinking?
Well, for start, I guess it's the classes we actually play, but
And
I mean,
just
for
flat
Paladin, I think it's the best tank for Feast. If you've got a team that can communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm. And
The stun locks, if you've got good DPS, the stun lock is too good for securing a kill.
absolutely. And I guess to rewind a little bit, your party composition was Paladin, Monk, Scholar, Bard, correct?
That's
yes,
right, yeah.
that's correct. But like we just like it can tell you this class does this class does that, but we just played our mains and that's about it. We just played what we
Yeah.
liked.
Yeah,
We didn't really make a plan to do anything, honestly.
the jobs we were good at, so we just picked those and then played it.
Okay, so I guess Ellie's not here, so she can't really speak about why she plays Bard over Machinist. But Dacian, can you talk a little bit about why you play Scholar over White Mage or Astrologian?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, basically like Scholar, I've been playing like since fall days, like and like I've only been playing that, and it's kind of my main right now. So like, it's kind of a challenge to play Scholar as well because it's one of the hardest healers to play with. So I kind of enjoy that as well. Yeah. That was it.
Okay. And I guess who wants to talk about our group composition? Slip?
Before that, I can speak for Ellie because you said why she doesn't play Machinist, but she's Machinist is just level 30, so that's probably why.
So she just hasn't picked it up yet.
Yeah, probably. She used to play Caster, but it's kind of hard to carry with Caster in solo queue, I'd say. So she just turned to Bard recently. That's probably why.
Yeah, casters don't have the MP regen for the healer.
Yep.
Okay, and who from our team wants to pick up and talk about our comp a little bit?
Flip, I'll give that one to you if you want it.
Sure, I guess I could talk about it. So we were Paladin, Dragoon. Unfortunately, I wish I could have done Monk. Machinist, and White Mage. So obviously, the whole thing with Paladin and White Mage is the whole stun and sleeping is just completely broken. Being a healer, being able to do that while your DPS are able to put out a lot of pressure is a very big advantage. With Machinist and its short cooldown binds, knockbacks, and everything, it's also a very big benefit. While the White Mage is also being able to CC, so the heals don't have to go out as much. And White Mage having Tetra and Benediction, I mean, that whole thing is just those clutch moves are very good for setting up very specific strategies. So that all being said, like I said, I wish I was able to do Monk so that we didn't have as much pressure against me if our Machinist took the defense buff, which he did, and he took the offense buff, but we pulled through. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to talk about the comp. It's a pretty solid comp. I would say Monk would have been a lot better though, but unfortunately, my skill with Monk is not to what I would like it to be.
To add to that, I think we kind of had a similar mentality where we wanted to find people who we're going to bring what their main was, because like he was bringing up Monk, we were completely fine with bringing a Dragoon because we knew Slip could handle it. And same with +1. We knew he mained Machinist. Let's just say Bard was the meta instead, but we had faith that the players that we brought were going to bring their A game on their respective jobs. I think that's what we valued more than anything.
Yeah, definitely the skill of the class always outweighs however strong the class stance in the meta.
All right, and I guess now this is the big one for me because this was like my biggest thing about the tournament. Do you guys want to talk about like the experience of being up on stage, playing in front of a crowd that was like, some of them were strangers, some of them were your friends, some of them supported you, some of them supported your opposition, and like, what did it feel like to be up there, play, and also win?
Absolutely terrifying.
I can tell you, Egg was like shaking.
Really
It was so
nervous.
weird to watch him. Really
Yes.
nervous.
Even Tubby One was telling me to calm down backstage.
Yeah.
But
It was-
I'll speak for myself. The stage was like kind of frightening, I'd say. But I didn't really think about the stream. Like I actually never thought about the thousands of people watching me. It was all just a crowd, and like when the game started, I suddenly forgot everything. It was just like 4 of us, the computer, and that's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, I'd agree there. Once we got the headsets on and just started setting up the gear, that was it. We were in the zone.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing, like standing there and then Yoshi like watching the finals with us as well, and
In his
then
Moogle slippers.
yeah, and winning it, and then getting a trophy from Yoshi. It was kind of amazing.
Pass to the NA group now.
There's Steph.
Yeah, Steph.
Lost Steph.
I'll talk about our experience, my experience on stage, since Steph seems to be a little lost there. So when I was prepping for the stage, I was nervous as hell. I think I went to like pee like 10 times before I even got on stage, before we even did the first match, and like it was just constant nerves. But when I got on stage, I was just like 100% calm. When I sat down, I was like ready to play Dragoon, do my burst, set up with plus, and like just get it on. Like it was really exciting and invigorating. I enjoyed it a lot, and I couldn't believe. I thought like not many people would be sitting in front of us, but I think every seat was filled in front of us when I sat down and I saw how many people were like watching the Feast tournament. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean I feel like I was more like Egg on our team. I got up there, like my hands were like so cold and like they were shaking. It was hard to even like press the keys correctly. And the fact that like I use an MMO mouse, like a 12-button MMO mouse. So like all the keys are pretty foreign to me too. Like on the keyboard, like all my keybinds and stuff. It was much more difficult to play up on stage than it is, just in front of your computer at home. But obviously getting up there and winning was pretty amazing, and never experienced anything like it.
I think
guys-
once the headsets went on and once we got in front of the monitors, we started to notice that the crowd behind said monitors really, really got dark. And once the game started, it was you just didn't even notice them. I think that definitely helped for me. When everything got going, it just became very familiar territory. And the fact that there was a crowd and commentators just became a secondary issue.
When we had headsets.
Well, yeah, when we had working headsets.
Now, did you guys at EU have like good equipment at least? Because at NA, on the right side of the stage, none of the headsets even worked, and we actually had messed up +1's saved keybinds. Did you guys have any like technical difficulties?
Well, we were fine of the headsets, but the team we played against, Calibri Prink, in the semi-final, apparently their headsets weren't working. So
Well, equipment-wise,
freezing.
we were fine. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, equipment-wise, we were fine. Just like freezing issues on the stage, like when we were playing against Colibri Pink, I froze like 2 times for 10 seconds and just died, and I couldn't do anything.
The only thing I had a problem with the equipment was that they used like these keyboards that had macro buttons on the sides, and I have a small keyboard at home. I use my palm to press control, and I couldn't do it there, so I had to actually click some skills. It's a minor issue, but kind of caused a problem for me.
I think
And it's
Atreus would
German
agree with you.
keyboards as well.
Atreus was saying
Yeah,
the
I'm not
same
used to
thing.
having F keys on the left side, so when I would like try to find the control key by feel, I would just hit fucking F keys instead.
Yeah. Also, you said that like you were used to the mouse with the buttons on the side. I had the other problem. We actually had those, but like I would keep pressing them on mistake, and they were bound to like 1, 2, 3, or like to the
Oof.
numbers, and I would like use the wrong skill. Like my form shift is on 6. I would use a normal skill, and then next I would use a form shift instead of using another skill because I misclicked on the mouse. It was pretty
Wait
annoying
a
for
minute.
me.
You're telling me you guys got MMO mouses at your tournament?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
did.
did. But the buttons were so kind of off.
We had to practice, Stefan, namely, had to practice in customs and crap, like playing with a regular mouse, not MMO, before, because we knew they weren't going to be providing them, and that was, like, he could talk more about that.
Yeah, we practiced for
Yeah.
a couple games. Like I would just sit there, like log in, and just like use my new keybinds over and over to try to get a feel for it.
Oh,
Because
tell him about
I've
the
been,
flashcards game.
yeah, we would sit there and like Atreus would call out like, "Oh, use this ability," and like I'd have to do it really quickly with my new keybinds, and it was something else trying to learn all that new stuff. And Plus One even brought his own like Corsair mouse for me just in case they would let us use it, but they didn't let me use
No,
it.
no,
God.
actually, no. I brought it because like I think one of you mentioned that at a previous event they used Corsair mice. So like we were hoping that if I brought it, you'd be able to get used to it in hopes that they would have that same mouse there.
You guys actually got practice time before the
Not-
tournament?
Not at the event itself. We're
Oh,
since
okay.
we all knew each other beforehand, we ended up on the same server, and so we did customs beforehand. And we just, in Stathan's case, he just got a regular mouse to practice with.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought you meant in the event because we didn't get any practice time there.
Well, I did practice at the event because I'm not sure. Did you guys have the feast set up? Like there was like 20 computers at our fan fest.
Yeah.
We solo queue.
But
We
they
had the
wouldn't
same
let
button.
anyone.
On the first day we weren't allowed to go near it. It just sat there all day till the tournament, and we were only allowed there 30 minutes beforehand. It was really annoying.
Mm.
That's strange.
I was gonna say because I played like probably 20 or so matches to try to practice.
So
Wait,
wait,
they
I
didn't
have a question
open
about
for
that.
anyone
Then.
to just go and play it?
Nope.
Wow.
Did they
That's
give
really
you
They give us
time
like 30
beforehand to
minutes
give
to
you?
set up everything,
There we go. Okay.
and that's not enough time to set up everything for
Yeah.
any of the teams.
And like they wouldn't let us do anything, like no duels, no custom games, nothing. So I'm pretty sure everyone forgot something because like you can practice on a dummy, but there's just some keys. Like for example, I forgot sprint because I didn't use it on a dummy. I tried my combos, I tried my burst, but I forgot sprint. I had to click it, and like I had to put it there mid game. It was kind of a problem for me.
That's speaking of which, I think Plus One has a little story about having to set up keybinds mid match.
Yeah. So, how did they copy your data for your UI? Like, did they? Because what they did with us was they had us go to the feast, like the normal feast grounds area that like anyone could go to, where they were having the 8v8s going on, and they had us use one of the computers that was already set up there to to input all of our macros, all of our hotbars, all of our UI, and then they would come in with a USB stick and transfer that one system folder from Windows onto the USB stick, and then transfer it onto one of the 8 computers, because they only had 8 computers on stage for us.
Mm-hmm.
And every time in between games, they would swap out. They would overwrite the system folder on the computer to match whatever team was going up at the time. So when I went up there, apparently they didn't transfer anything from the original computer that I did my UI on. So all of my data was lost.
Oh,
That's rough.
And they told me, you know, I was like pretty stern with them about it. Like, because before even the match started, I was telling one of the community reps there, like, this isn't going to work, you know, because nothing was set up. And they're like, well, you guys have to start in a minute. So the first game, because I didn't really have time to talk more with them about it, they're just like, you have to go. So like in that 1 minute before the match starts, I'm like scrambling to like first, you know, reset my movement keys because those aren't default. Try and like do some quick key binds and stuff. And like the first match, if you go back and watch it from the NA Fan Festival, I'm like I don't even have Gauss barrel on my bar. So like, yeah, like so the first match was really bad. Fortunately, afterwards, I was able to talk to Tony and Ben there, who said I could run back real quick, like before the next match, over to the 8s area, quickly set up my hotbars in like 5 minutes, and then fortunately we got that resolved. But at your event, did each team have their own set of computers, or like were you guys sharing it in between matches?
Okay. The first day we had enough computers to sit all teams, so we had the 30-minute setup time before the matches. This is not on stage. This is on the feast area. It's a bunch of computers. So they basically after winning our matches, they just took a photo of our hotbars, and they also took the data. And
they took a photo as well.
Yeah, they took a photo. Well, I didn't see them, but they just said that they would to like in case there was a problem, we could tell them and they could compare with the photo to see if there was actually a problem. Well, I don't think anyone had a hotbar problem on the stage. The only problems we had were we didn't have cross-class skills. Luckily, we noticed that before.
Yeah, like 15 seconds before the match
started. Luckily, the scholar, like if we actually had a white mage, we would have went to the first match without any cross-class skills. It was like, why can't I use stone skin? Oh, we don't have cross-class. Everyone just open it up and do it in 15 seconds. The only
Swiftcast.
Yep. The only problem I had, I don't think anyone else had it, is that on the first day we used German keyboards, and on the stage we had English ones. So I had 2 keybinds, my mantra and limit break, that wouldn't work. That was kind of annoying. It was just the semifinals though. I could fix them for the finals because I noticed it in game.
Mm-hmm.
I need to look up a German keyboard real quick because I have no idea what that looks like.
It's really easy. You have a QWERTY one, right? It's basically Z and Y are swapped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had a keybind on. Yeah, I had a keybind on Y on the German keyboard and the English keyboard as a Z there. So when I press Z, my mantra wouldn't go off. It was really annoying. And my limit break is on the key near the number 1. I guess that's also different. It's called, in German it's called Circumflex or something like that. It's a really long name. But it was just those 2 keys for me. But otherwise, I had 0 problems with the hotbars.
Only thing I had was like just a slight adjustment because the screen was like bigger on the stage, so like you still had to adjust a bit, but that was it. Rest, it was all good.
Okay. So I guess what I'd like to get into next is, based off of your guys' experience, what would you change about specifically feast tournaments in the future, these live tournaments? I know my biggest thing was giving us proper equipment, but since you guys got MMO mice, I think that would have satisfied my needs.
Well, I think it's important. Oh, sorry, after you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think the first thing they should do is, if they're not going to allow us to bring our own equipment, which is understandable, they should at least let us know which model mouse and keyboard that they'll have at the event, so we can have a proper idea of like what to expect when we get there.
Well, I think they should find some way to localize the matches. I don't know about you guys, but for our event, they made loads and loads of characters on the Odin server.
Yeah, ours was on Adamantoise, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we were playing custom matches online with the hosts as spectators. We were getting a lot of lag.
Yeah, we had the same. We had about 500 ping.
Yeah,
I want to say that was the internet of the venue that we were at, but still.
I think
I'm
it was a combination of
surprised they don't
both.
have like some kind of LAN setup.
Yeah, they definitely need a LAN server.
100%.
They probably do. They just didn't want to use it for the tournament.
So I guess this issue wouldn't have really affected JP and EU as much since NA got the first FanFest, but they announced the PvP tournament extremely late, after the point of no return on getting tickets. I could definitely think of some people who might have considered going if they knew it was going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a little bit more notice, and I'm not even going to get into the rewards. I'm super jealous of your plaques. I also hope you fall downstairs and break your plaques. Just saying.
Those are so amazing, hanging up to my wall.
We had to get ours framed and stuff, and like it's still just a poster. Like, it's nice. It is very nice with those plaques, though. Those plaques.
We weren't ready for
We
them. We were
signed
just
it.
told there was going to be like a super secret prize.
We asked Yoshi to sign it as well, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but Atreus, apparently those signed posters, everyone who got invited to the stage event got them. It wasn't so like the only thing the winners got was the T-shirt.
No. It's the plaque is only for us, not to anyone else.
No, I'm saying
for
for
the
the NA event because we got these like signed posters.
Okay. Yeah.
And like apparently those were given to everyone who participated on the stage event. But the only thing the winners got was just the T-shirt. And I think
the prize everyone who got on stage first was the Gaily Cap hat game that we're still waiting for.
Let's see.
Gotcha.
Only the winners from our tournament got the Gaily cap.
Oh, we had 16 people get that. It was and 8 people got the T-shirt, and 4 people got the keyboard and the plaque.
Yeah.
Keyboard.
Yeah, it's the
keyboard?
shitty keyboard we
The
use.
English one we were using.
Oh, was it like
the UK one? So
was it like Final Fantasy branded?
No, it's just normal. I sold it for €100.
we got
damn.
a rocket cap as well for just participating.
Yeah,
So like
it's just
everyone got it.
I mean, I would take a plaque and €100.
Yeah, me too.
The plaque is so good.
It's a good memory. It's not for sale.
Stop rubbing it in.
Yeah, even Slib got one of the guy's numbers because I think why'd you get his number? I think it was for my account because I signed up with my main account, but it was banned. So I was like, oh well, we got to give him the information for the new account that I have. So Slib like texted him, and I think you texted him after the JP tournament, right? And you're like, yo, dude, give us plaques.
Yeah, I was watching. Like right as they were handed the plaques, I'm like texting him and I'm messaging you, and I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? So I'm like, let's see. I'm like, let's see if EU gets it. Maybe they won't. Maybe it was just the Japan Fan Fest, and then you guys get it, and that's when I was like, all right, now I'm gonna send them another message. Try to get this. The response was, sorry, the items for the tournaments were already selected, so they can't just compensate and give it us whatever you guys got.
Yeah, so I guess at the end of the day, our biggest criticisms would be, number one, I think we can all agree on is that they need a local server to host these tournaments. Like, the lag is so bad.
Mhm.
Number two, I know some people this will bother more than others, but I think equipment should be streamlined. I think that you should get a choice. Like when you walk up there, you should say, "Oh, I want a regular mouse, I want a MMO mouse, or I need a controller." Like I think that you should get 3 choices. The keyboard thing we didn't have to deal with, but that just seems unforgivable for EU. Like why would you have like like different keyboards.
I mean,
guess it
at
makes
the
sense
very
since
least,
it's in
though,
Germany,
they should just give a list of the equipment that will be offered. You know.
Yeah, I still think they should offer a variety of equipment to fit people's specific playstyles because you have this
Mhm.
game where you have like what 30 to 40 plus keybinds. It's like I could not play this game well without an MMO mouse.
I
But
think me and Ellie didn't have too much problems there because we play on PS4 controllers.
oh, there you go.
It was just me and Soup that
Yeah.
mostly had it.
And I think this is another. I think NA is the only one that had problems with it, but I actually think that the rewards for JP and EU were really good. Like that's what I would like to see, like sort of a
I actually don't
participation
know
reward,
what
semifinals, and finalist reward.
what did JP get. I actually have no idea.
I think they got
They
the same.
got
They
a
got
different
plaques.
shirt. They got a shirt too, but it was like a different one. And they got the plaques, the same exact plaques, and they got. I don't know if they got the galley cap also.
They probably did.
Keyboard? Maybe a keyboard as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I'm just feeling like we got shafted.
Probably because it's the
There's
first
where
First
NA.
one ever.
No, it's because we're NA.
So I guess now moving on from the tournaments, we are all the tournament winners here. PvP in general, or I guess let's keep it the feast in general. What kind of changes would you guys like to see? And I think for this one, let's just go from top to bottom. We'll start with Plus, end with Soup, and just name one thing that you'd like to see the change, like to see a change on.
Can we go bottom to top?
No,
I have to think about it.
just one thing. Come on, I got something. Go.
All right, well, we can start from Atreus, go down to Soup, and then go back up to Plus.
Okay, all right, fine.
Okay, delete monk.
I'd like to see some kind of tutorial in there so new players can actually learn how Feast works before they jump straight in.
One thing I really would like to see is like adding DK onto the rankings because like people's been playing PvP and then get the points and stop at 1 point because they say like, okay, I got this many points, I'm like top 10, so I'm gonna stop and not play it anymore. And yeah, that kind of like kills the queue as well. So I would really like to see some DK on the points.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the thing that I would like to see the most is I would like to see a better GM representation inside PvP. I think people get banned too easily for chat. I'm super biased on that. And I think people aren't getting banned enough for speed hacking and other forms of cheating. I think the speed hacking thing is the worst. Like if a black mage, and people on Aether Data Center will know who this is, but if you have a black mage that's spamming Fire 4 less than 2 seconds cast time, uh, and he's been banned for speed hacking in raids before, it seems unforgivable that he's allowed to just go rampant in PvP.
Well, I have to say I lost to that guy 5 times this week so far, and I'm very sad. My Cure 2s, I had presence in mind up and Cure 2s are going, and he was casting 2 Fire 4s within 1 Cure 2. So, yeah. Anyway, I would like to see a change with Light Party and Solo Party, like where they get more people to play Light Party, more incentive to play Light Party, because right now it feels like there's too few people, and there's too much avoiding happening. There's just not enough why would someone who's like 3,000 rating, let's say, want to fight a group of new people, just starting like actual experienced players, but they're just starting the ladder and they're getting queued against them and they're like 500 rating average. And like, why would you want to risk losing those 50 points or whatever it is, and them getting 50, or you only win 5 and then losing 1 point? Like, there's something has to be done with that. I personally don't know what, because everyone kind of leans more towards solo queue and like win trading if possible in Light Party, since it's a little bit easier. But I really wish they put more thought and effort into Light Party and getting more of an incentive for people to queue for it. So there are more teams out there that put effort into it, rather than just having the few trying to take advantage.
My problem also, the main thing I want to change is also about the rankings. I think starting from 0 is like really stupid. Because you can see, like, if you look at the rankings, you see people with 40% win rate in Diamond, and I'm just looking at it and I feel really sad. Like, this isn't supposed to be like this. I think they should start everyone from like a mid ground, maybe silver to gold. And let's say you start from gold. If you're below 50%, you should be below gold, not diamond. I think it's really stupid that this can happen.
That's how it was before the season.
Yep.
And delete machinist as well. That
Circle is complete.
between the eyes is just too overpowered.
Okay, I have like many things to say, but I wanted to hear what everyone else said, because maybe I could like narrow it down if someone else touched on something else. So probably the biggest thing is I'd like Square to be more ambitious with PvP going into Stormblood. I don't necessarily think Feast is the correct format, because the way it works now is it favors the losing team in most cases with the medal system. I think if you look at almost every other competitive game, this is the only one that really does it this way. Like, if you look at, probably it's the biggest competitor to this game, which is WoW, and which is what this game was based off of. The arena in that game was most similar to Wolves Den, where when someone dies, they die. And if they're not the healer has a chance to use Divine Breath on them to bring it back. But if the healer dies, then that's it. And I think in this game, it unfortunately makes it very frustrating, even for like not only newer players but also more experienced players. When you're winning, you have 560 points, 560 medals in the match, but then in the last minute, someone kills your tank and you lose. So I think something really has to change with the game mode in general, and I'd like to see some more new concepts from them going into Stormblood with their competitive PvP scene.
Yeah,
I tend to be on Reddit complaining about gimmicks every time they release. Well, when they first released Feast, and when they brought up that JP blog or whatever for this new one, they showed they're like introducing all these new boxes and crap, like movement speed and all. Don't know if it's true yet, but like my biggest complaint is they focus so much on those extra gimmicks that they don't address their core gameplay. Which I think if they did that, we can go back to that 4v4 deathmatch, and it'll still be good content. But they're so focused on adding objectives that just cover up band-aid issues, if you will. So I think the 4v4 deathmatch format that the Fold was probably the better form. They could always just edit it in ways where, you can't raise, once you're down, you're down. That way it'll just add a little bit more diversity to not just kill the healer. And then you can just make it into several round format where, okay, it's best of 5 or best of 3, and then at least the matches won't be so quick, and now you're back in the queue. There are different ways they can do it, but they're tunnel visioning on the Feast and these additional weird objectives. Just my opinion.
Okay, so I think we've circled around for all of those. So I guess let's talk a little bit more about who we all are. And I think a good way to get into that is, where do you guys bring your PvP experience from? Like, from other games? Is it just Final Fantasy XIV? What other kind of competitive PvP games does everybody play? And we can start top to bottom again, or
okay.
Let's go bottom to top. Soup, how about you? You start.
Before Final Fantasy, I didn't really play any MMO, so my only PvP experience comes from Dota, which I've played for around 10 years now. Yeah, that's like the only thing I played before Final Fantasy, so if that counts, that's it.
Yeah, it counts.
My experience, slip follow here. My experience has been from World of Warcraft mainly. I've spent many years from the day Arena was released in that playing Arena constantly over and over, whether it was to get the gear because it was nice, brand new, cool looking gear and actually decent stats, or just playing with a bunch of friends, trying to aim for the top. And a lot of it was like a lot of strategizing in that. I've learned using pillars, line of sight, stay right by your healer. Keep an eye on your healer, make sure you don't line of sight them. Try to pull people back into line of sight away from their healers. All those strategies I've learned from World of Warcraft, which I try to bring here into Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, the whole I played World of Warcraft Arena myself as well. I also played like League of Legends, Guild Wars 2 PvP. I've played PvP in just about like all the MMOs I've played, like Rift, Ion. But I do like the PvP here. I think it's very similar to WoW in the way that it's executed. Not as good, but similar. So yeah, that's where I sort of learned like pillar humping and like the importance of CC chains and stuff like that. And I guess MMO PvP has translated the best, but I think a lot of concepts from the other games like Overwatch or League has definitely brought a little bit into Final Fantasy for me.
For me, I haven't been really much into MMO competition PvP. It's kind of like started on Final Fantasy XIV. It was like before just PvPing on Guild Wars and League of Legends, and just some other MMOs as well. But like, haven't really been doing competitive on it, like trying to go for the best. And like on Final Fantasy, I just enjoyed it, and so I've been trying to do a lot of competitive matches and all. So trying to go for the best.
Well, Final Fantasy XIV was my very first MMO. It just seemed so fresh compared to stuff like Call of Duty and Halo. Hooked on it since.
Atreus, and I also got my first MMO PvP experience from 14. I don't know if you want to count 11, but I think we can all agree that was
Ballista.
Yeah, hell yeah, Ballista Brenner. Yeah, so most of my experience comes from shooters and action-based games rather than MMOs. So 14 is definitely my first, but goes all the way back to when Wolves End came out.
For me, I think WoW. What I learned from WoW PvP translated the best to this game, but I also played a lot of console FPS before that.
All right, cool. We got like about a little over 15 minutes left. So one of the things I would actually like to talk about, and this does relate to more competition in general rather than just the live tournaments. But if you guys didn't hear, and we touched on it a little bit earlier with what Atreus was talking about with feast gimmicks, the new map that they're releasing, I think on Tuesday, is going to have new buff boxes. So instead of an attack and a defense box, my understanding is that there's going to be a haste box that increases your GCD or lowers your GCD and increases your movement speed, and then another one which restores HP and MP. So we don't have to go in a specific order. We can just sort of go around, and whoever wants to touch on this can. But how do you think that this is going to change, I guess, the meta or the competitive format?
Well, first off, did they actually explicitly say this somewhere that it would be haste or HBMP?
Yeah, so in the translation, it was sort of lost as to what exactly it was. That's what makes sense to me, because they specifically listed out like there was a live stream, right? A Japanese live stream where they demonstrated it, and they listed off the buffs. They said there's going to be HP, MP regen, a movement speed buff, and then a haste buff, which lowers your GCD and increases your attack speed.
Do you know if this regen buff for the HP and MP are like a long-term one, or is like the medicine box in 8v8? Does it say?
Excellent question. We have no
Yeah.
idea.
We have no idea, but I would assume. Okay, so the least amount of work for them to be copy and paste to the medicine box. I'm gonna assume that it's that.
Well, I think it would change some things up though. Like, when we go into a feast match and we see like our range getting the blue buff, you just know not to focus that range, so you go to the melee. But now you can
Unless
just
it's a
change
monk.
it around. Yeah, unless it's a monk. But like, no, you can just change stuff around and like focus the ranged as well. So I guess it's some difference.
I
It
also have
may
another
not.
question before. Okay, I want to get this off before we start discussing, because didn't they also say that there would be 2 LB boxes? Maybe I remember this wrong, but
Yeah, I do
I did
remember
hear
that. I think
something
it's
about
one
it.
for each side.
I found that really stupid. Like, the whole point of the LB box is to contest it, right? And it's like, so are you gonna just camp the enemy base for that? I don't know. I don't see how that would work out properly.
I guess like you could risk it and like split your DPS and try to like sneak in like like the life search full thrust or something, or elixir field to try to rip the box off of them and get both boxes, which would really put the enemy team at a disadvantage. That's the only thing I could see with that.
Yeah, but then isn't that like a bit too strong? We already know melee LB is basically game winning, and if you give so many LBs to melees, it's just gonna be LB fests. Like, if you could find a way, I would say remove LB boxes completely, but it gives you something to contest. So I understand the importance of it, but I don't know. I just don't like LB.
It could be split like maybe if they reduce the duration of the buff being up, that you can grab it like to a really short time, so they can't like run in LB and then go get the other one. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, okay.
So
Fair
like
enough.
so like maybe the tank will pick it up, because I would think like the tank LB is actually pretty clutch if you could time that right to counter melee LB.
Like, if we had proper servers, I would agree with you, but like the mid LB, like when LB is casting midway, it already locks its damage, so you actually have to instantly react to it. But
Yeah, you see, I don't have that problem myself at home. Like I know, like at the fan fest, I have that problem, but at home, I'm able to like attunement LBs very easily when I get stunned. Like just purify attune, boom, and it's like I never take any damage.
yeah, if you're on point, that's probably true. But
Yeah,
like if you're like a millisecond late, it's usually gonna hit
yeah, I
true.
know what you mean. But like, I guess I just don't have that latency issue that other people have. Like, I would think if I had 1/10 of like a second more ping, I would probably have an issue.
My problem
Um,
typically isn't the ping; it's having purify up at the time I'm getting LB'd.
yeah, that too. That's when you hope you have Benny up so you could top yourself after the stun and try to pick up a tier two or something. Um, but like the whole boxes and everything, all the extra boxes, I kind of like the idea. It adds more like objectives inside the match instead of just like kind of like Wolves Den, just whoever dies. The only thing I had to grudge was with the medals, weakening the team that's winning. But like I really like the idea of boxes. I welcome the whole HP MP regen boxes if that's what they are, and the
Yeah.
speed box. I just hope that there aren't reports of like, oh, this guy's speed hacking. He's running real fast and like his global.
Oh yeah.
Now, like all of a sudden, like people just start getting banned, and GMs don't realize, oh, there's a speed buff now. You got to let your employees know that this is what's in the game.
Let's be real, they weren't banning people anyway.
So I wanted to speak specifically about that haste buff. Have you guys seen the new solo queue map, by the way?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
one, right? Without the tree.
Yeah. So I think Yoshi P probably had a hand in its design, because if you're getting a GCD reduction, a cast speed reduction thing to make you cast faster, and then if you also place a black mage on one of those little islands that have the bridges on it,
Yo, imagine Cal
you
Cruz of
can't
getting one of
LOS
those
the
buffs.
black mage anymore, except for behind that tiny little tree. So I guess the point I'm trying to get at, I think this new map does favor some different jobs, particularly Bard and Black Mage, since it's a lot harder to LOS on this new map at certain angles.
Well, at the same time, I don't think it's going to change like the party composition meta too much, because they've said they're going to add that into the map into the rotation when you queue, so you don't know which map you're going to get,
That's
Uh,
very true.
and it's
that
just in custom matches you can choose what map you want.
that line of sight issue, I'll probably be having it a lot. Like, I always try to line of sight my ranged, like when I see them pop buffs, or like when I see a popping barrage, I just try to line of sight it and let the cooldown just drop off. So don't know how that will be in the new map, to be honest.
I think you could run to the like I don't know how big the map is though. So if it's big enough, you could probably go to the other edge from the island to cancel the cast. I don't like we have to actually see how big the map is.
Okay, what you're saying is like run to the other side of the map and get behind that wall.
No, not the wall. Okay, if you like, okay, think there's the island with the two bridges, the small island, right? There's the tree on the main island, I'd say.
Mhm.
And like if you run to the other edge, like the other edge, not to the edge with the island, but the other one. If the map is big enough, you can't actually maybe you can't reach it from the island. That's what I'm saying. So
Okay, I
if
see what
the
you're saying.
yeah, if the island's big enough, you can just like sit on the edge, so the black mage or the bard or machinist, whatever, won't be able to stay on the island to hit you. I can't really comment on like how loss is gonna work. Actually, I have to
I think
see the
there's a
map.
lot of questions we won't have answered until we see those patch notes and actually get in
Yeah.
there.
Well, you think?
My hope
I
is
think a
that the
lot of it's
buffs are
not
so
going to be in the patch
minuscule.
notes. It's going to be hit
That's true.
trial and error.
Yeah, most likely. Well, okay, this will be like taking over the show maybe, but I actually want to know what you guys think about the map change. Like before they showed us the new map, there was another version with the tree. Like it was a way bigger map. You remember that one?
Yeah.
With the yeah,
Well,
like
that one might be the 8v8 map.
oh, that's actually possible. Yeah, I was just like thinking which version you would like better because the big tree was. I was thinking like, how am I gonna heal this? So there's people running behind the tree all the time.
Squares make their stance on healing very clear when the fees came out. Oh, you seem to be doing a good job taking care of your team? Calling time.
See, actually, I think I would have preferred the big map for solo queue over this little one, just because like the little one, there's not enough here. It might as well have been an open field with some bridges on it.
Yeah, that is true.
Have
'Cause, I
fun
mean,
finding ninjas that are hoarding medals.
yeah. Well, they've
Well,
said time and time again that they don't like the walls and that they were considering taking out the walls again in the feast. But like just putting two
Well,
dinky little walls in here, like this is gonna be rough.
I mean,
well,
they did make several changes in the first preseason, because I think during that first preseason before season 1 was when they removed those center walls.
Yeah.
So maybe if there's enough complaints, they'll make an adjustment before season 4 starts.
Like, I'm actually curious though. Do they even listen to us or just the JP data center? Because I have no
Never
idea.
know.
well, I just hope they add some walls so I can line of sight some stuff at least, because I line of sight a lot of stuff. Not
You have
my
to.
team, but like enemy team has it good things and bad things. So, but I still like walls and all.
Yeah. I guess this does eliminate the idea of the dragoon running behind the enemy's wall to chase the healer and then dying.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
also like
one
really
thing-
interested about the new bases because the new bases there doesn't seem to be somewhere you can kite for like the last 30 seconds. It's just
That's true.
that square. It's gonna be different. Like you would normally take the medals to get like 7 stacks if you're a tank, for example, and then run to the base in the last 30 seconds to just kite them. But now you can't do it. I wonder like how that's gonna change. It's gonna be terrible in solo queue, I can say that.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that this is going to be a little bit harder to just turtle up inside your base. I
Yeah, that's
think
true.
that it still favors white mage, obviously, because unless you're against a summoner, or if you're against a bad summoner, you can still just sit in your base and just plop down in Sacred Prism for the last 30 seconds. But I do enjoy that it's not just like, oh, let's chase the team up to their spawn. Oh, they jumped down. Let's run back. And then Yakety Sax is playing, and you're just running around for the last minute.
Well, it's a good time to buff Scholar as well then. Just remove Aura Bust and add something like the Prism.
I think Prism should be reduced by 50% duration.
I
mean, I hate to say I love White Mage. I play it main, but it really that 30-second, like Steph said, at the last 30 seconds is kind of cheesed. Hide that little cannon up at the top in the corner.
That's one of the guys that we play with says, oh, I hate it when white mages just drop double prism because you might as well just alt tab for 30 seconds and then come back.
Exactly.
But like this is the thing we did in FanFest because like obviously this will barely work in solo queue, but you can bait the prism somehow because I see all the white mages just like drop it the moment someone gets hit and then just like run back, do nothing. You don't have to hit them, you just can hide behind a wall. And if they come to you, you can just try to kill them.
Yep.
But like Sacred Prism is definitely strong. It's extremely strong in the last minute, let's say, but it's not really strong. It's strong, of course, but not as much as people try to make it to be. Honestly, it's just that people try to burst inside it. That's the problem I see.
Yeah, like you can just walk away from it, but like you said, trying to get people to do that in solo queue, especially with the
No
chat
chat.
removal,
Yep.
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Well, it's still a good thing for the healer though, like to survive and then keep your.
Oh yeah, of
autonomy.
course.
So, still think it's a good skill. Well, like OP, let's say.
All right, guys. Well, I think we covered just about everything. Does anybody have any closing comments or topics they'd like to discuss?
I actually wanted to talk about. Do you think they're gonna change silence or any other CC or any other small changes like that?
I hope they change silence in particular.
Yeah, I think silence. But then you'd have to do like, if you're gonna change silence, you actually have to do something about ninja, right? Like they're already weak as they are. So.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think
if
we'll
they
get any
remove the
big
diminished
CC
damage.
overhauls until Stormblood at least. But I think we will get some class adjustments going into the preseason.
Possible.
Would be nice if we could have chat back in Light Party.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Well,
I would like to add
one thing
that
to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead. You can go.
I was gonna say they should have a global tournament now, where all three of us face off. All three teams: Japan, Euro, and NA, all face
But
off for the
only
grand.
if you do it in AU though.
title.
I'm not playing it with hyping.
That would be exciting.
Where are we all gonna meet for that though?
Good.
Yeah,
In the middle of the ocean.
EU versus NA.
Where and like we can do it in JP, so it's like hyping for all of us. Fair.
JP has like 20 ping. We all have like 700.
Well, I guess we would all have to
That
fly
sounds fair.
to Tokyo because that's like Blizzard. You have the EU tournaments. Then they get the best EU teams. They come over for the BlizzCon and everything, and then they all just go to BlizzCon and do it. So like, it should all be done then in Tokyo.
Like, I actually really want to play against JP because, like, I don't know if you watched their games or played there, but they have this thing. They just carry the game to calling, and then kill people in calling. I just don't understand how they can do it.
It's the cheese strat.
Yeah, but like, how does someone not die? Even if you use your CCs perfectly, if people focus one person, that person is gonna die.
I think it's because in JP their meta isn't like brute force burst. They focus a lot more on like carefully placed CC to extend the game.
I really that's what I want to see though. Like,
'Cause, like,
if
that's
you
why-
go there and burst someone, what would they do? I really want to see that.
Yeah, because
what I
like that's
want
why
in the whole
machinist
tournament.
isn't really the meta there.
I think
It's
they
more
would be
black
shocked
mage.
and never pop cooldowns until they see Culling.
Probably.
We actually had someone transfer from the JP data center, and it's like, how am I supposed to heal this? He was really surprised.
Mhm.
I don't like. It was probably middle of the ground there, but he was really surprised. Like, I can't heal this, guys. Like, he definitely got used to it after, but he was really shocked that we would play like this.
Oh, maybe we'll be the Uber Lords.
There is no comp better than White Mage, Paladin, Monk, Machinist.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees to that.
Yeah.
You can win with other ones. We actually we have a composition over here that just sprung up in Light Party. They play Dark Knight, Summoner, Monk, White Mage, and it is actually terrifying.
It sucks to play against.
We like summoners are really tricky though. Some of them, like, I see the good ones and I can think the class is really good, but I'm not sure. Like, if the summoner is against Scholar, it's just like a free win in most cases. I just can't heal it.
Yeah, miasma. It just reduced the healing plus the shield.
Like,
So-
you have good AoE burst heal with Indom, but you don't have any sustained heal. Like the regen on the fairy, and that's it. Nothing else.
Well, there's some misconception that White Mage isn't going to be good with Summoner because, dots and sleeps are going to counteract each other. Well, no, not the case at all, as they're showing lately. They still do careful sleeps on both Stefan and I, while their Summoner is doing his business, and after a while, it just becomes very, very hard to keep up with. And Dark, like, they don't even suffer from not having a Paladin. Like, the Dark Knight just adds so much more damage pressure on top of it. One of those strange comps that does actually work.
Well, like, Dark Knight is really annoying to play against though, with all the binds, and you
Yeah,
need
the
also
bots.
extra purify for the Soul Survivor. It's tricky to play against. Like, I think the main strength comes from that people aren't used to playing against it.
Yeah, but the
Absolutely.
purify point is absolutely correct because what are you going to use your purify for? All the dots to stop a bane, the sleeps, the full swing, the soul survive. There's so many things you need to clear, but you have to pick.
You've got the sleeps in that list too.
I said
Oh,
sleeps.
did you? Okay.
I don't think you're ever gonna have enough purifies for that.
No, this is not enough.
You're just gonna have to sack someone.
Need to make purify like Aether Flow stacks. That was a joke, guys. No way.
Yeah, no one is ever gonna die.
All right, guys. So I think we're good then. We're ready to wrap up. So I just want to
Yeah.
say thank you guys all for coming out and doing this. I really appreciate it. And do you guys have any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, just a win.
Oh my god.
Anyone else?
Yes, no one.
All right.
I'd like
Well,
to
then
shout
this-
out Team Tryhard because I know Dark Falls is waiting for it.
Oh, he didn't ask us.
He just expected it, you know.
Failed him.
I fulfilled my quota.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all again for coming out. I'm gonna have this up on my YouTube channel. I'll link it in the Chaos Discord for you guys. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you and good night.
Yeah,
Alright.
no problem.